The Green Goblin in Amazing Spider-Man 2 looks so ugly. His hair looks like a rejected troll's toy. It looks so bad. The Green Goblin more like the ugly troll. Hello everyone, I am Sword Caliber 687, and today I would talk about Dane DeHaan's Green Goblin from the Amazing Spider-Man 2. For anybody that watches the Amazing Spider-Man 2, we all know how terrible this Green Goblin design is. When I saw the Amazing Spider-Man 2 in 2014, I hated how much this Goblin design looks and how much they butchered his character. In the Amazing Spider-Man 2, Norman Osborn isn't the Green Goblin. Harry in the Amazing Spider-Man universe is the Green Goblin. In the Amazing Spider-Man 2, Norman Osborn died to a certain disease. Norman's disease is genetic. It also passes down to his son, Harry. I will tell you Harry's role in the Amazing Spider-Man 2, all because I believe his character development is completely rushed. Afraid of dying like his father, Harry does a lot of research on spiders, all because he believes it might be a cure for him. Harry wants to use the spider venom in Oscorp as an antidote for his illness. But there's one problem. All the spiders in Oscorp are all dead after the Amazing Spider-Man 1. Harry, completely out of options, has no choice but to contact Spider-Man. Harry knows that Spider-Man got his powers from a spider in Oscorp, so he's tried to use Spider-Man's blood as an antidote. Harry sets up a meeting with Spider-Man talking about using his blood to finally get rid of his disease. Spider-Man is deeply concerned of his DNA might affect Harry and might kill him in the process. After Spider-Man leaves, Harry is deeply resentful towards Spider-Man and wants to get revenge on him. During the Amazing Spider-Man 2, Harry eventually finds the secret stashes of spider venom inside Oscorp, and when he does, he injects the spider venom into his bloodstream, turning himself into the Green Goblin. The problem with TASM 2's villains, the villains in the whole entire movie are barely developed as characters. The biggest example is Rhino. Rhino is only there in the Amazing Spider-Man 2 just to be a joke, and that's it. At least Norman Osborn in Spider-Man 1 has tons of screen time as a villain, but not Harry. The problem with Harry's illness in TASM 2, we don't really get to see how long Harry would live from it. For my personal opinion, if Sony didn't rush the whole disease aspect of the movie, it would have been better. If the disease slowly is killing Harry throughout the whole entire movie, and he's losing his ability to walk from it, it would have made it so reasonable and understandable to the audience. Wait a minute, this sounds familiar. A person tried to cure his own genetic disease using scientific experiments. The experiment goes horribly wrong, and what happens next? That person turns into a monster. Sony ripped off Morbius's origins from the Amazing Spider-Man comic books. It is Goblin time, more like it is Morbin time, you know what I'm saying? This also feels similar to Spider-Man the Animated Series, where Morbius also experiments on Spider-Man's DNA. It accidentally gets merged with Bat DNA, transforming him into a vampire. This would be a perfect transition to talk about my idea to improve the Green Goblin from the Amazing Spider-Man series. Idea 1, a better design. I already talked about how ugly the Green Goblin's design is. Let's find a way to improve his looks and his costume. I didn't like how the Green Goblin's costume looked like in the Amazing Spider-Man 2, all because it looks like a prototype armor and the armor is completely unfinished. I wish that the armor looked complete and it had a bit more purple coloration to the armor. Spider-Man No Way Home's Green Goblin design had some purple coloration to it, and it looks so cool. I like that purple hood over Norman Osborn's head. It is a reference to the Hobgoblin. I have created my own Green Goblin design using Photoshop. Here what it looks like. My Photoshop design doesn't really look bad, all because it just looks so good. I am not trying to say that the Green Goblin should take a lot of inspiration from my Photoshop design, but it should feel like a modern classic version of the Green Goblin costume. I want Dane DeHaan's Green Goblin skin to be green. The reason why is it would make it look like the Green Goblin from the comic books. This is going to be the last part of this video. Villain motivation. Harry's villain motivation should be getting revenge on Spider-Man and do whatever it takes to get revenge. It was hinted after the Amazing Spider-Man 2 that Harry would create the Sinister Six just to kill Spider-Man. I don't know how Sony would handle the Sinister Six working with the Green Goblin. They would probably sweep it under the rug or just try to make people forget about this storyline from the Amazing Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man No Way Home made me realize it is not the characters having enough screen time. It is about how much you utilize these villain characters. If you treat the Sinister Six like they're disposable or worthless, the audience won't be attached to these characters. I am trying to say you can write the Sinister Six well if the characters are treated with justice. Harry would use the Sinister Six just to get to Spider-Man if they do an Amazing Spider-Man 3. I would like the Amazing Spider-Man 3 to make Harry feel darker and sinister compared to how he was in the Amazing Spider-Man 2. Harry would try to hurt anybody that was close to Peter Parker, like Aunt May, Mary Jane, and there's so many different characters that Sony can do to make the plot interesting for the Amazing Spider-Man 3. I would like the Amazing Spider-Man 3 to focus on whether if Peter wants to save Harry or wants to kill him. Sony, you can even give Peter Parker a black suit in Amazing Spider-Man 3 to turn Peter's happy demeanor into a very negative, bitter demeanor towards Harry. I think this would be a perfect time to end the video. Thank you for watching this video. Like, share, subscribe. Also leave a comment below if you guys really want to see more of my content. Anyway, see you guys soon.